Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen. This weekend, I'm gonna be doing a reading vlog. This is the first time I'm doing a reading vlog. I like watching reading vlogs. I've just never done one. So I thought this weekend would be a good weekend because we're still in January. I live in Canada, by the way. We are known for having pretty intense winters and like cold temperatures here. Actually, this has probably been one of the mildest winters we've had so far, aside from right now. Everything was great right up until Christmas, and then like since the new year has hit, pretty much it has been snow and the temperatures have been getting colder and colder. So for the last week and a half, we have been in the like -15, -18 range Celsius. But it always feels colder because of the wind and stuff like that. And then every couple of days we're getting snow. So that is the situation right now. It is currently a Friday. We are set to get some more snow. We still have snow out on the ground, but like we're set to get some more snow this weekend, and the temperatures are supposed to drop again. And honestly, I have zero motivation to go anywhere. We don't actually have like any set plans. I mean, we'll go to church on Sunday, and I don't know if, you know, we may do something, but as of now, we don't actually have any like set plans of things aside from church to do. My plan is to read as much as possible. I mean, that's always my plan. I'm intentionally planning to read as much as possible this weekend. So I thought, why not film a reading vlog? I am going to read because I feel like I'm the last person on earth. I feel like that with a lot of books actually on my TBR, but I feel like I am one of the last people to pick this book up, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I actually just finished reading book, I have to look at my shelf, book 5 of the Shatter Me series. I just finished that like yesterday. And that was really good. Okay, so the book I'm going to be reading is none other than Divine Rivals. If you are in the reading realm at all, the booktube, bookstagram, any of that, you have heard of this book. I actually don't know too much about this book because I like to, if I even remotely see a book on my radar, I like to not know very much about it, so I won't listen to too much regarding it. Aside from the fact that I've heard rave reviews about it, I don't know too much about the plot. You know, it's about a writer, it's YA, and I think there's some magical realism. That's really all that I know because I've avoided every single possible spoiler. I've had this since before Christmas. So I thought now's a good time to pick it up. I kind of was in the mood for this. So we're going to attempt to, I don't know if I'll finish it. That is the plan, to finish it. How big is this book? It's not too long. It's like just over 300 pages, like 320 pages. We shall see, right? It kind of depends. Listen, I'm a mom, still have to do my mom things. I plan to do as much reading as possible. So it's now 3 o'clock because we just finished our homeschool day. I homeschool too, so we just finished our homeschool day. I'm gonna head downstairs and probably, I was gonna get a hot drink, but actually I kind of feel like popping open an Alani because I feel like I need a little bit of like pep in my step to finish off the rest of this day and not fall asleep reading. I'm going to get settled down on the couch, little ambiance on, and we'll start on this book. I just saw the front of it. It says, no God, no creature, no war can come between them. I absolutely have no idea what any of that means. I'll check in from time to time and we'll see how far we get. I'm excited to read this.
29 and I find myself wondering, what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away.
All right, you guys, so I am back for an update. It is just after 8 o'clock, so it's been quite a few hours, but I was like making supper and bread, and then we had supper and just doing some like tidying up and stuff around the house. But I did have a chance to read a little bit of Divine Rivals. I am now currently on page 57, which is chapter 7, and so far I am really liking it. The only thing I feel is like, because I have had like short spurts of reading, like I haven't really had a long like uninterrupted time to read, so it's been a little bit hard to get into, only because I need to keep stopping and then I come back and I'm trying to sort of remember where I left off, and it's still pretty early on in the book, so you're still kind of getting used to the characters and their backstories and sort of just a general idea of what the story is about. In a nutshell, what I have gathered, I'm not planning on giving away like any spoilers or anything like that, but you have the main character. Her name is, is it Iris? How did I already forget? Yes, her name is Iris. She comes from not a very good situation at home. Remember I said it's like magical realism. So basically they live in this time where there used to be like gods and goddesses that ruled this area that they live in years ago. But now somehow they are beginning to, I don't know, like awaken, and they're back. And now there's two, a god and a goddess, and they're like waging war on each other. And they are making this like army for themselves based on the people, calling them in different ways to fight on their behalf. And so there's this war waging. This all happens like you know this pretty early on. And so the main character Iris, her brother goes off to the war, and her brother are very close, and they just live with her mom, and her mom is like battling with addiction. And then like once the son leaves, like it really kind of spirals out of control. And so Iris is in school, she's like in high school, but because her mother is doing so poorly and basically there's like no income to support them or to feed them or anything, she quits school early and she gets a job. She ends up at this newspaper where she is, you know, writing, and she's up for like a promotion. She's really hoping to get this promotion because it would mean, you know, that much more money to support herself and her mom. There is this other guy that she is working with, and they're kind of vying for the same position, so it's kind of like a enemies or like a rival situation going on between the two of them, mostly because, well, they're kind of like snippy with each other, you know, the banter back and forth. He's the only one standing in her way of possibly getting this promotion. All the while, she has been trying to get in contact with her brother who's off to war. This is like, I think 5 or 6 months later, and she hasn't heard anything back from him. So she's very distraught because she doesn't know where he is. She doesn't know if he's alive. Like, she doesn't know what's going on with him, and they are very close. And it's like stressing her out, obviously, and causing a lot of anxiety between like providing for her and her mom and then not knowing what's going on with her brother. So this is where like the magical realism comes in, where she is writing these letters, and she has this armoire dresser in her room, and she slips them under the dresser, and one day she gets a response back, but it's not from her brother. And so she doesn't know who it's from. And therein starts this correspondence between her and this person, she assumes, who is writing back. And that's pretty much like where I've got to. Now, you do end up finding out like who is receiving her letters. That's where I'm at. I am enjoying it. I'm hoping that I'll have a little more time tonight to just like get in bed and read for like a longer amount of time. But it is super intriguing. I am excited to find out what's going to happen next. I might read a little bit out of the bath. And then once I get tucked into bed, we'll see how much more I can get through. Hey everyone, so it is actually the next morning. It's Saturday morning. I just got up a little while ago. I did actually read a few pages, not very much, of Divine Rivals before like I even got out of bed. Also, side note, I don't know if I showed you guys this, but once I took the dust jacket off, because I usually don't, when it's a hardcover book, I usually take the dust jacket off when I'm reading, but look how pretty. The gold foil, the typewriter, and it says Dear Iris. Anyway, I didn't update anymore last night because basically last night I had a bath, put everybody to bed, like we put all the kids to bed, we came to bed, and then me and my husband ended up just hanging out for the rest of the night. We had some nachos, impromptu nachos, and we watched Friends, and then I was considering like reading a little bit more after that. It just didn't happen. I was too tired. So I read a little bit between, like I had my bath and then I came into bed and I read a tiny bit before we kind of chilled for the night, but that was about it. And so anyway, Saturday morning, it is still cold. It is still snowing. It's actually, yeah, it's actually snowing just a little bit now, but we got some snow overnight. And so I just got up and I put on my comfiest, coziest clothes that I could find, came back to bed. I'm hoping I'm going to read a little bit more of this while I still can. Mornings are slow around our house. The kids are kind of just pitter-pattering in and out and doing their own thing. So I'm going to take advantage of that while I can. I'll drink my coffee, read a little bit more, but I am still enjoying it. There's not too much to update because again, I didn't read very much more. I really am enjoying the writing. I've never read anything else by Rebecca Ross. This is the first book I read by her, so I am really enjoying the writing. Just the overall premise of the book is fun and interesting. Still finding out kind of what's going on. We do know, I mentioned about like the letters being typed back and forth. As the reader, we know now who is corresponding with Iris. Yeah, I'll see how far I get today, and then I'll check in a little bit. I'm still cozied up in bed, having a little snack. It's now 1 o'clock. It's just been that kind of a day. This was what I was hoping for. This was what I was planning for this weekend. I'm currently eating some pretzel chips and some chicken salad. I like to dip it in there. And I have a David's tea that is too hot to drink. I am now on page 97, chapter 14. Can we just talk about the rival at the newspaper? So there's this guy at the newspaper she works at, and they're kind of going head to head, vying for this promotion. I wasn't sure of his name. He does go by Kit. That's his last name. His first name is Roman, but she calls him Kit. Can we talk about how much I love him? Can we talk about how much he's my favorite right now? Everything about him is just 2 thumbs up. Also, can we also talk about how in chapter 12, page 87, there's this whole paragraph about losing someone and grief and what it does to you and how you live with it on the good days and the bad days and trying to live your life on the other side of grief. The way that hit me literally made me cry. I can't remember the last time I actually cried during a book. I remember crying when I read A Man Called Ove. I guess I have cried at When the Coffee Gets Cold. I've cried at a couple of those stories, but it takes a lot to actually bring tears to my eyes. And I don't know, I mean, it could be the time I'm going through, because I have been dealing with a lot of loss in like a span of 4 or 5 months. Lost 2 people close to me. So, you know, I guess if you're in that, like in the moment, in the midst of that, it's gonna hit a little harder, but I cannot emphasize how beautiful the writing is. My love for Rebecca Ross's writing is through the roof. This whole passage in particular was just so beautifully written and just so like, just really hit home for me. So far, so good. Still looks like the storyline is going to pivot, a little bit of a change, a little bit of, you know, I have a hunch I know what's going to happen like in the next few chapters, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm gonna find out. Also, my allergies are through the roof, so that's fantastic because it's like -10 outside, snowing, and my allergies are going crazy, so there's that. Also, I do think, unfortunately, that I am going to be having to venture out in this weather here in a little bit. I need to pick paint. So my daughter is working here in a couple hours. We're gonna drop her off, and then we're probably gonna go to Home Depot to look at paint. So I have a couple more hours. Well, I have about an hour left that I can sit here and read, and then we're gonna have to I'm not looking forward to it, but short little trip out, and then I will resume the cozy, comfy, snuggled with a book and a hot drink situation. We had to make a pit stop. We haven't even gone to look at paint yet because tonight is pizza and movie night with the fam, and we did not have pizzas. Sometimes we order, sometimes we just buy it. So last week we ordered. It's like we order too much. The kids kind of get sick of it. So we dropped off Finley at work, and then we headed over to Walmart and grabbed pizzas, and I usually get sushi, some snacks and stuff for popcorn for the movie. It is cold and blustery blustery outside.
Oh, it ain't that cold. Don't be the CNN reporter pretending like she's in a hurricane, where there's like people walking around in the background.
Oh my gosh, you can see that it is. You can hear the windshield wipers. Anyway.
It's not even calling them squalls.
It is cold.
It's calling them snow showers.
It is
What's
cold,
a snow shower?
and it's like that wet kind of like fluffy snow, which looks pretty when you're inside by a roaring fire.
Are you one of those
with a cozy book and a blanket?
Are
Otherwise,
you one of those chalet? What do they call the girl that doesn't go skiing?
Yeah,
she's in the chalet.
Hangs in the chalet. Yeah. Pick the paint, so Mike's getting that mixed, and now I'm going to go look at some lights because we've been wanting to change out our bedroom light. We still have a boob light in there. We'll see if they have anything. All right, you guys, so it is now almost 8:30. I don't know if you can hear, but my kids are downstairs. Well, my girls, my two youngest girls, are downstairs jamming to some Taylor Swift music. So I thought I would come up here and give you guys a bit of an update. So I did read a tiny bit. Like I read for half an hour, maybe barely even a half an hour for a little bit. And then it was like time to start like getting dinner going, sending everybody for like showers and baths and all that kind of stuff. And then sat down and had dinner. We just finished all that up. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. I did get a little bit further. I am currently now page 152, which is chapter 21, and I'm still enjoying it. What I suspected, kind of where I suspected the story was going, was in fact where the story is going. So I mentioned, I think at the start, there is a war going on that the main character Iris, at the very start, her brother, she's basically saying goodbye to her brother who is going to fight in the war. I think this is supposed to be like in the 1800s. They live in a very like normal, like town, normal city, and yet there's these elements of magic. We know that there's these ancient gods, and as we get, you know, so I would say I'm about almost halfway through the book, you learn a little bit more about the whole situation with the gods and the goddesses and sort of the stories that go along with it and how we have got to the point that we're at in terms of why they are fighting and the history. So that was very interesting. And we've also introduced some new characters, which is really fun. Still the element of the letters being sent back and forth has also like, there's another element added into that where the reader is able to understand like how that's actually taking place, like how that's happening. I love the main character. She's still on this quest to find her brother, to see if her brother is alive or not, because she has not heard from him. So that's kind of like one of the things that is going on. I don't know how much more I will be able to read tonight because, like I mentioned earlier, it is our family. We have pizza and movie night every Saturday. So actually my husband just went to go pick up my daughter from work, and as soon as she comes home, we will be starting the movie. And then we also wake up for church in the morning, so I don't typically stay up too late past that, but we shall see. I may get a couple of chapters tonight, and yeah, if I don't update you again tonight, then I will see you tomorrow. Hey guys, so it is Sunday. Got up today and Went to church with the fam. Didn't check in anymore last night because I didn't really do a whole lot of reading last night. I think I read maybe 2 chapters. I am on chapter 25, page 179. We just got home a little while ago. It's already 4 o'clock. Just sort of spur of the moment after church. We went to the mall with everybody. Kids were craving pretzels. So random. We took them there. We got everybody some pretzels. We walked around for a little bit as well. We came home and then I went back out because I had to go grab some stuff at the pharmacy. I can't think. So it's just after 4 o'clock now. And this is the first time I've like sat down. I haven't even picked this up today at all yet. Now another spur of the, oh, it's kind of spur of the moment thing. A couple of my older kids have been wanting to go see Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It was like all like during, you know, it kind of came out like right around the holiday season and stuff, and it was just so busy and there was like so much going on that it was just not like, we just did not. I was thinking like, oh, I should probably like try to take them some time this week because it's like been out in the theater for a while. And I was like looking at times and then realizing that there's times like until like Thursday and then it just kind of drops off the schedule. So I'm thinking that it's going to be leaving here very shortly. There was a showing tonight at like 6:15. We'll be leaving here in like an hour and a half. I may try to read a little bit of this. I'm not sure. At this point, Iris is, I was talking about the war. Now she's gone to be nearer to where the battlefield is because she wants to report on what is going on, kind of like an unbiased, because everybody seems to take like one side or another, and so she kind of wants to write some articles about what is going on the front lines and just sort of more personal stories with the soldiers and stuff. It's sort of just been like her experience. She's not really in the middle of it yet, but she is a lot more surrounded by what actually is happening in terms of the war and the effects it's having on the cities and towns that are like neighboring where the fighting is happening and all that. So I'll see if I can get a couple chapters at least in, and then I mean, I guess I'll have some time later on tonight. Technically, I was hoping to have this done by the end of this weekend because I mean, I could if I tried, but now that I know I'm not going to be here for a few hours tonight, it's getting a little tight. So I may have to extend this into tomorrow, which is not a huge deal because I really do want to just like finish this, but I don't want to get this far in the video and then not even finish the book. So if I don't get this done today, hopefully I'll get this done tomorrow, but I will check in when I have another update. Happy Monday. So it is officially Monday and I'm still reading this book. Last night I ended up on chapter 27, page 195. So I'm almost at the 200 page mark, and this book, what did I say? Like 350? Not too much more further. Anyway, this morning, because it's a Monday and we homeschool, woke up, started off our day homeschooling, and then we actually had some dentist appointments as well. And I was actually going to mention, because a lot of times I'll bring a book with me to the dentist, but didn't end up bringing Divine Rivals with me because I ended up getting on the Libby app Shark Heart. And actually, the audiobook just became available as well. So I'm probably going to get that as well. I'll pop a picture of it here. So Shark Heart. So this is a book that I kind of got on my radar. The whole premise was kind of weird. I mean, it is still kind of weird if you know anything about it. But basically, it's about this guy who ends up being diagnosed with this condition that turns him into a great white shark. I know. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, weird. And then since then, I heard other people mention it, and a lot of people talking about how they went into it more just out of curiosity, didn't actually expect to like it, and then really did end up liking it. So it came available, and so I thought, I'll just give it a shot. So I started reading it while we were at the dentist, and I got page 61. I don't even know honestly what chapter that is, but dare I say, I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I mean, I'm not that far in, obviously. The first couple of chapters, like, you find out right away he has this condition. Not common, but they've heard of it before. It has happened before, like to other people, but it's not like super common. There's not really anything they can do about it. Like, you're just doomed once you've been diagnosed and the changes start happening. You're basically just going to turn into a great white shark, and you have to just accept it. Really, you're following, yes, there's the change of that going on. And again, I'm really early on into the book, but you're learning a lot about the characters. It's like weird. Like, when I hear myself talking about it, I'm like, this is weird. But honestly, the story so far is like really beautiful. And so I kind of added that into the mix. I don't think I'm gonna have that finished by the end of this vlog, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if I will, like, I may just pause on that to keep reading Divine Rivals, because I really want to finish this first. But if I have any more updates on Shark Heart, I will let you know. Other than that, I'm going to, like, we're back home now, but I'm gonna have to leave here in a little bit. Again, this is the life of a mom, to drive my daughter to work. I'm gonna have a little bit of time, about half an hour. I'll do a little bit of reading on this, and then hopefully when I get back tonight, I'm hoping to finish this today. That's the plan, is to finish this, because this is supposed to be a weekend reading vlog, and now we are into Monday. At this point, like, you know, this kind of middle part of the book, that there's anything really crazy or gripping going on, but there's just something about this book that is comforting, and I don't really know how else to explain it. Probably a mix of the writing and the characters. I don't know, just the overall feel of this book is just cozy and comforting, how I feel reading it. Alright, you guys, so I finally finished Divine Rivals, and it's actually a few days later, because I wanted to give myself, like, I find that when I read a book, I will have an initial reaction, and then once I stop and think about it for a few days, I'm not saying my opinion changes all the time, but I like to just give myself some time to kind of sit with the book, sit with what my initial reaction of the book was, and just kind of see if I have any other, like, thoughts or differing thoughts, if I feel the same way. So it has been a few days, and I think I'm going to rate this a 4 out of 5. I really did enjoy it. The pros to it, I would say, is the writing. I mentioned a few times that I love Rebecca Ross's writing. Well, I mean, this is the only book I've read of hers, but I loved her writing in this book. So that was definitely a plus. I thought that the whole story was very creative, and I'm so glad that I went into it knowing very little about the actual story, because there was a lot in here that I did not expect. Now, they do, like, when you read the synopsis though of the story, it does tell you a lot more than what I personally knew, but I'm just glad that I avoided descriptions of the book. I didn't know if it was going to be heavily on the romance side or more on a fantasy type, you know, type of story. So I really just enjoyed the story in general. It also ended on quite, I would say, a cliffhanger. So I'm anxious to, I already have the second book, so I'm anxious to continue and read on with the second book. I'm not like a literary, you know, like critic or anything like that. So I'm really just rating books based on my personal experience reading the book, my enjoyment of the book, just sort of my overall feeling after reading the book, and if it even ever comes back into my mind. You know, sometimes you read a book and then you never think about it again. My 4 out of 5 rating is purely because there was a little bit of a middle part of the book that it's not that I was bored or it's not that I wasn't enjoying myself, but a few times when I went to put the book down, I was kind of in this middle part of the book where there wasn't a ton going on. Doesn't mean that it's not relevant to the story, and it doesn't even mean that I'm saying, oh, they should have left it out, you know, or you didn't need to have that included. It's just that it was in the moment not the most, you know, exciting part of the book. So then I would find that I would put the book down and I was kind of just meh about picking the book back up again. But the minute that I started reading again, I was right back into the book and immersed into the story and the characters and everything like that. So there's a good chance that if I had been interrupted less or just read a little bit more straight through, that may not have happened. But that doesn't really take away from the book itself. I'd say 4 out of 5 is that's a pretty high rating anyway. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, I'm glad I read it. I'm looking forward to reading the next one, which is called Ruthless Vows. Anyway, so there you have it. That was my reading vlog of Divine Rivals. And I'm also happy to say that we stopped getting snow. The temperatures have gone up a little bit, slightly, and most of the snow has melted. So it's amazing what can happen in a few days. In a few days we had a ton of snow, and then in a few days the snow is gone. So I'm a happy girl. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this weekend reading vlog with me. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy all things reading like I do. And don't forget to thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you read Divine Rivals. Let me know what you thought of Divine Rivals. And if you have you already read the second book as well? But please, no spoilers. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.